Okay everyone, AOE video number 4, because I have nothing better to do. No, but seriously, usually you hear me present my ideas like the AOC theory I talked about before, but this time I will take the blue pill and play into the all AOE insanity, and the best way to do that is with zombies. So yeah, let's talk about zombies in Attack on Titan. Hello everyone and welcome back to a new Attack on Titan video dealing with everyone's favorite topic, animated original ending, better known as AOE. So first, let me tell you my problem with it. AOE is a very general term for a different ending, but if you ask any AOE fan what this ending should be, they will all give you a different answer. Some will tell you Mikasa should give yet another different answer, telling Eren she loves him. Others will say Eren should end up with Historia. Some say Mikasa should die, and some think that Eren should never cry. Some support the fan-made alternate ending, and others just want a completely different one. No wonder new fans are confused. No one can give them a specific answer for what AOE actually means, except for being somewhat different from the ending. There isn't one specific turn of events everyone agrees on, and that's what makes the concept of AOE feel like an incomplete story. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of little signs along the way, but the lack of one clear idea is my main issue with it. But like I said, I'm going to take the blue pill, stay in the Matrix, and take it even further. And to do that, we need to talk about those two, Geek Armin and Goth Mikasa. Oh yes, and also this sauna scene, we will get to it too. This video will feel a bit wacky, but keep watching because it will connect to our story. And before I'll explain it, just know that you can find all the panels we are going to talk about on my website. I will leave a link in the description. And while you do that, also subscribe and like this video. It really helps me a lot. So what are those panels? Why are we talking about them? And where are those zombies I promised? These are Attack on Titan fake panels, which I like to call the foreshadowing panels. They originally appeared at the end of each volume of the manga and offered a glimpse at rejected manga panels, random funny scenes and short stories. Some of them addressed events from the show in a satiric way, and some even got animated into the non-canon OVA of Attack on Titan, like this scene of Armin breaking both of his legs. You could also find a rejected cover featuring Mikasa's abs, a funny moment of Jean's mom catching him reading a dirty book. In his OVA, it was the same, only he was drawing Mikasa. Sasha slapping Mikasa, Mikasa punching Sasha, Hanji is in love with the Titan, and so much more. So really, go check it out after this video because it is truly hilarious. Among all those fun panels, there are some that stand out. For example, this one of Eren waking up from a dream. Very familiar to Eren waking up in our story. This is almost the exact scene we got in Attack on Titan Junior High. Another example is a short story about Armin and his little Titan that ate all the people who bullied Armin. I won't spoil you with the meaning of this panel, but I will link here the video I made about it and what it actually predicted. Now over the years, the panels took a more permanent form under the name Attack on Titan School Casts. In this series, the entire cast of Attack on Titan was portrayed as a bunch of high school kids dealing with teenage issues. You can pause the video here to read the title cards for every character, but just for an example. Eren represents the regular person. He doesn't associate with any group and has no dreams or ambitions. And remember that because it's gonna be important soon. Mikasa, for example, is an occult lover, a goth girl trying to find a curse to repel Jean, who is constantly trying to hit on her. Jean, by the way, is the bad boy of the school. Marco is a nerd obsessed with homework. Armin is an otaku and an anime lover. Reiner is the school king, and of course, Historia is the queen. You can also find the hierarchy of the school in this diagram. Oh, and of course, Hanji, Levi and Erwin are the school staff. Guess what Levi is? So basically, it's like a typical school brought to us in the style of a comics. It's fun and everything, but this school soon becomes insane. It starts with this panel of everyone accusing Eren of doing something to Historia. All the popular kids started bullying him for that reason, and when he confronts Historia, he literally bites her head. They all beat him up, but that makes the entire school side with Eren for fighting rumors about him. This is very similar to our story when the public opinion of Eren changed on Paradise and the public began to support him. In the next panel, we see the group doing a seance with Marco's ghost. But the real insanity starts with Eren sitting in class. Eren seemed bored. He wishes for something interesting to happen, and at that moment they hear noises from outside of the class. Outside, some of the students have suddenly turned into zombies. And here we can also see that Goth Mikasa and Armin scene. It seems like the same moment shown to us in the anime, although it's pretty blurry. Remember the character sheet from before saying Eren had no dreams or ambitions? So here he finally finds a purpose: to destroy every last of those zombies, which is basically one of Eren's catchphrases only about Titans. Mikasa even calls him my Dark Knight. That is a reference for Batman, who is considered as some kind of necessary evil. But that's not the interesting part. Eren soon wakes up, realizing everything was a dream. But from that moment, he can't stop thinking about it. After he witnessed that, he can't just go back to his boring life. But then he figures out that if there is no danger, he can become that danger, a threat to all of humanity.
I am the one who knocks. I am the danger.
And that is of course a direct reference to what he currently is in the anime, an enemy to the entire world. From there, things keep on being insane. He meets Gabi and Falco, who are part of a cult worshipping Ymir, and for some reason, Eren is the only one who can see a girl with a bucket. The cult then kidnaps Eren so he could tell them the words of Ymir, and of course, the cult leader is Zeke. Eren is then facing an inner conflict similar to the one he had in the anime, only here it's a bit funnier. But in the end, he decides to accept the word of Ymir. She gives him her bucket, and from there we find ourselves in that sauna scene that also featured in the anime. Eren tells everyone this is what Ymir wanted to show them, the power of a steam sauna. And that is of course connects directly to the steam produced by the Titans all around. From there we jump to the final panel featuring Eren, Mikasa and Armin, all watching Attack on Titan, the movie. This panel came out a few months after the manga ended, and it cleverly featured the group expressing the different opinions the fans had about the ending. Eren tells them that the most important part was that they watched it together. They all go outside and walk by Ymir, walking with Maria, Rose and Sina. And that is the very last thing that was published from Attack on Titan. Now, even though a lot of those panels are pure nonsense, some raise a serious question about what is going on. But the biggest connection is Goth, Mikasa and Armin appearing in the memory panel. This is, by the way, the only thing I could not scientifically explain in this story, and you know how much I love explaining things with science. So yes, I will say it, there is a small chance that AOE you're talking about is this Eren imagining our entire story, just because he was bored. And it doesn't end there. I mentioned Attack on Titan Junior High before. That show was the mother of all foreshadowing. It even introduced characters before they appeared in the main show. And also there you could find small references to the main anime, like a very familiar scene playing on TV in Eren's house. There was always some sense of connection between all the different parts of Attack on Titan. Maybe like the connection between all Eldians, but who knows, I might be overthinking that one. But the issue of Eren being bored is not mentioned only in the fake panels. It's something mentioned in the main manga and anime as well. It was shown to us during the warriors training, and then we saw Eren sitting bored behind the walls while they trained on Marley. And at that moment, Armin comes running with his book. This book was exactly what Eren wanted, something interesting, something to wish for, and that connected with his rage and intent to kill all the Titans. Very similar to School Cast Eren, who changed drastically when the zombies attacked. So no, I don't know if it means anything or maybe it means everything, but there is always the possibility that this is the one true reality. And I mean the reality of high school Eren. Here he is a regular boring kid, but somewhere else, maybe in his mind or whatever, he can find some interest. Sometimes by fighting zombies, other times by waking up as Chibi Eren and going to school with Titans, and sometimes he defends humanity against the Titans. But in each of those realities, he is surrounded by all of his friends, and they keep appearing in different roles around him. And that is, my friends, the most drastic AOE outcome you can expect. To find out everything is a byproduct of a bored little boy who just wanted something interesting in his life. And by the way, did I mention that Mikasa's wishes also come true? Well, that's a topic for another video, and this is the end of this one. Let me remind you to check out my website if you want to read all the fake panels. They are all arranged by order, and I think I collected all of them except for 2. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and please let me know what you think. I will see you all real soon in my next video and even sooner in the comments. But until next time, let me just remind you all to dedicate your hearts to all of humanity, inside and outside the walls.